MMA Oddsbreaker this week we'll listen to Chris Camozzi get ready to fight. Is it Rafael Natal? Is it Rafael Natal? Like, which one is it? Because he's trained at Renzo Gracie's, but he's from America, so I'm not sure if he's Portuguese or if he's Spanish descent. I'm not sure.
He's Brazilian, so it's probably Rafael.
Yeah, it's Rafael then. Like, you never can tell, and I made the mistake a couple different times in person to different people and been absolutely just run through the ringer for saying it wrong. So I try to be correct.
Hey, it's not my name, so I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Now, one of the things we're talking, most people know that I start the interviews after we've had a couple minutes to talk, and you and I were talking about our hectic schedules and getting all over the place. You're actually at your store right now helping out your wife on a Friday, which most athletes are, they assume, people at home assume that when you're fighting at the level you're fighting at, you're just a full-time fighter, and that's all you do. But you actually have other things you've got to do. What store is it? Where is it?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
What store is it, and where is it? What kind of store is it?
So I own Performance MMA in Inglewood, Colorado, but we also run a website. It's performancemma.com. We do all the shipping and stuff out of our warehouse. It's a retail store for MMA, boxing, jiu-jitsu, you name it, combat sports. I got wrestling stuff, everything. I carry all the popular brands, and then I carry a lot of the smaller brands too that make quality gear that you wouldn't find at sporting goods stores. So we're the only store in Colorado, but we ship worldwide. So we do pretty well, and my wife and I bought this business. It's been a couple months now. And, she does the majority of it so that I can train, but I also help out here. It's next door to my gym, so it works out perfect, really. I work here, and then I go next door and train, and I come back, and, that way I'm making money while I'm training, too.
Yeah, that's the hard part is trying to keep the income coming in between fights. Fighting is still feast or famine. I'm either getting a lot of money, a lot of pay because I got a fight coming up, or I've got nothing at all coming in, and at least you with a job, with another business on the side, you're able to keep that income coming in. Now, it's only been a couple months, but how is the potential of this? Will it match your fighting income in between fights, or is this something that's going to be a little bit less, a little bit more?
Definitely, and we're doing pretty well. Like I said, we do worldwide stuff. So, I get orders from Australia, from Brazil. I've had orders from India. It's pretty crazy, man, to see that, people are using this stuff all over the place. MMA is really blown up, and there's a good market for it for us, especially, we have a storefront too, so people can come in here and shop. So locally in Colorado, as I said, we're the only one around. So we get quite a few people in here. If you need gear, you need to try it on, rather than just order online because you don't know where the stuff's coming from. All these companies have different sized gear, so trying it on is the best way to go. So it's fun, it keeps me in the sport. And, training too. So all the new gear I get.
Perfect. Yeah.
I just invest my money from fighting into a business. That way, if I'm ever hurt or anything, we're not screwed, and we're still making an income, still working, and living my life.
Is your wife, she worked full time, and this is all she does is work the store now?
We're transitioning to that point. My wife bartends and goes to college, so it's she's definitely putting in overtime, and this business wouldn't be around without her. She's been super supportive of me, and she wants me to just focus on training and fighting. So she does the majority of the work here, and I try to help out as much as I can.
Let's talk about Rafael Natal. Both you guys are on losing streaks right now. You've got a 3-fight losing streak. He's got a 2-fight losing streak. Obviously, we've got to ask the question: do you feel like this is a loser leaves town kind of fight, or is this? Do you think that depending on how you guys approach this fight and how the fight goes off, it doesn't make a difference win, lose, or draw, that you'll still be in the UFC at the end of this?
No, it's a must-win. The last one was a must-win too. I guess they decided to give me another chance, and there's no way I can drop 4 fights in a row. I've never even dropped 2 fights in a row in my career until now, and this little bad luck streak I'm having here, man, is killing me. So,
Well, let's not talk about a bad luck streak. I mean, you lost to Jacare, you lost to Lorenz Larkin, a unanimous decision, and then you had a split decision in your last fight with Bruno Santos. So it's not like you're not out there gaming. You know, it's not like you're having a bad luck streak. You're fighting quality opponents and just getting the short end, especially in the Bruno Santos fight. That fight really could have went either way. I mean, you could have, depending on the judging, you know, one different judge in that group, and all of a sudden you win the split decision. You know, so it just depends on really when it comes down to that. That's the judging. And that fight was a very game fight, so I can see why the UFC kept you around now. But like you're saying, this is a must-win fight for you. Like, you've got to beat, you know, Rafael, otherwise you're going to be cut from the UFC. So what's different in this training camp versus the 3 previous training camps? Like, what are you doing differently? I mean, it's the, I don't want to say desperation, but the need to win is obviously there. So what are you doing?
Well, for me, I came back, you know, and we looked at that last fight, and, yeah, like you said, I guess it was close. I didn't expect the judges to give it to me because I know how they score. You know, he landed 7 punches the entire fight. I did more damage and everything, but at the end of the day, these MMA judges are scoring so much on wrestling. So, you know, it's my fault. I need to get better at wrestling. So I hired Lisa Bowling as my new wrestling coach. You know, he used to work with Shane Carlin. He works with Nate Marquardt. A lot of those guys. So I started wrestling at the Muscle Farm facility here a couple times a week. And I still train at my gym, Factory X, full time. This is my home team. But, you know, I needed to improve on wrestling. And aside from that, I got Joe Warren in our gym that helps work stuff with me as well. So we put a big emphasis on me getting better at wrestling, whether it's defensively or offensively. I'm working both. And then along with that, I started working with Lauren Landlow at Stedman Hawkins. He's a world-class strength and conditioning guy. He works with a lot of the Broncos, a lot of the Olympians and stuff. And we're working on me becoming faster and more explosive than anything. Cardio has never been a problem for me, but I've always lacked that explosive power. So I've been seeing him a couple times a week, and it's really made some huge differences in my games. And alongside that, all the training partners that keep coming into the gym over and over has been huge for me.
You know, what training partners are coming through? Because I know it's for a while there, it was like everybody was coming in. You were having every day was somebody different, and that is it kind of still the same way where it's a lot of new guys all the time, or is it now kind of set down like, I know this guy's gonna be here every day, or that guy's gonna be here every day, so I know at least a couple of my training partners are gonna be consistent.
Yeah, I mean, well, they're all consistent now. Everybody moved here. Okay. You know, Dustin Jacoby moved here. He fights tonight, actually, for Titan. Brian Foster's here now. I don't know if you guys remember him. That guy's a stud in the gym and in fights. Cortez Coleman from Bellator lives here. Brian Rogers moved his family from Ohio to here. Oh. I got Gilbert Smith. I got a bunch of the guys that I've always trained with. Adam Stroop, my brother Brian Camozzi. We just got a ton of guys now that are living here full time and are in the gym every day. So it's a competition every day. It's like a fight, man. I think training here now has been harder than actually fighting.
You know, and that's the way it used to be back in the day. Like when we first started fighting, that it was always being in the gym was always tougher than being anywhere else. It was always a problem. But now, for a while, it was like the fight became tougher because everybody's looking for the next best thing, the next best spot. And now that the best spots happen to be back in the training, so I'm glad to hear that you've actually got a good group of guys now to push you every day and make things happen. Who's coaching you? Who's going to be in your corner for this fight on September 5th?
On September 5th, I got Mark Montoya. He's been my head coach for a while now. He's been with me thick and thin. You know, he's the head coach for me. You know Mark pretty well. Yep. And then Lisa Bowling, who I said I hired for wrestling, he's going to be there. This will be our first fight together, but we've been working together in the gym, and he's been giving me a lot of the attention that I need, and you know, going through things slowly and then picking it up live and really helping me out a lot. And then a good friend of mine, Brian Rogers, I think you know who that is too. Yeah. He'll be in my corner. He cornered me in Montreal. We've trained together for a long time off and on, and now that he lives here. So we're pretty close. He knows my fighting style real well. And, you know, he's got a good solid background in there, so he can definitely help me out with, you know, whatever he sees during the fight. And then he'll also be there to train with me all that week.
Perfect. Chris, thanks for coming on here with us. MMA Oddsbreaker, I appreciate it. Have fun against Rafael Natal. It's going to be a good fight, and I'm definitely want to interview you when we get done. So I want to see how things went and kind of go after what you thought was going to happen during the fight, and then what actually happened during the fight. So I'm going to check that out after too.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me on. I always enjoy talking to you.
Thanks, Chris. Take care, bud.
All right. Have a good one.